Welcome to Arsakha Aesthetic Studio. Are you dreaming of a garden that bursts with color, texture, and charm all year round? Imagine walking through your own vibrant border, filled with perennials that practically take care of themselves. Wouldn't that be magical? Today we're sharing 15 must-have perennials for every garden border, perfect for both beginners and seasoned gardeners. If you love gardening content like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more beautiful inspirations. What perennials are your favorites to create that dreamy garden border? Let us know in the comments below. Seedling. One. Vibrant coneflower border. Imagine stepping into a garden bathed in the golden light of summer, where the air hums gently with the soft buzz of bees and the occasional flutter of a butterfly. Here, vibrant coneflowers stand tall, their striking, slightly drooping petals in shades of purple, pink, and orange catching the sunlight. Each bloom crowns a sturdy stem, its spiky golden-brown cone rising like a small sun, reflecting the warm hues of the afternoon. As you walk along the garden path, the coneflowers seem to sway in time with the breeze, their long stems gently bending without breaking, a testament to their resilience. These perennials, known as echinacea, are more than just pretty faces. They attract a variety of pollinators, creating a lively, buzzing ecosystem that breathes life into the garden. Their blooms can last from midsummer well into fall, and even after the petals have faded, the dried cones provide texture and structure, capturing frost and morning dew like tiny works of art. You might place these coneflowers in the middle of your border, where their upright form adds height and drama, or perhaps along a sunny fence line, where their vibrant colors can shine against a backdrop of airy grasses. They are perfect for those who seek a garden that thrives with little effort, returning year after year, stronger and more vibrant, like an old friend greeting you each summer. It's moments like these that remind us that nature's beauty can be both simple and profound. While the inspiration here is meant to guide and spark your creativity, remember that every garden is a personal canvas, and the choices you make will reflect the unique spirit of your space. Two. Charming Rozanne Geranium pathway. Imagine a winding garden pathway, the kind that invites you to slow your steps and breathe in the fresh, earthy air of a summer morning. Along its edges, the delicate violet-blue flowers of Rozanne geranium spill over rustic stones, their soft, rounded petals swaying gently in the morning breeze. The sun peeks through the leaves of nearby trees, casting a dappled pattern of light and shadow on the worn path beneath your feet. This isn't just any geranium. Rozanne is a true garden gem, blooming continuously from late spring until the first frost, its petals catching the changing light of each passing season. Unlike more delicate plants, it doesn't shy away from heat or uneven soil, thriving equally in full sun and part shade. Where its cool, violet hues provide a striking contrast against the deep greens of surrounding foliage. As you walk past, you notice how the flowers seem to dance in the soft, shifting breeze, their thin, delicate veins glowing faintly in the sunlight. The leaves below are a deep, rich green, their lobed edges catching the light like a fine lacework. Tiny pollinators move between the blossoms, adding a gentle, constant hum to the morning air, while the soft, leafy scent of the geranium fills the space around you. This is the kind of plant that invites pause, encouraging you to linger a moment longer, perhaps to notice the way a single dewdrop clings to the edge of a petal, or the way a small patch of moss nestles into the cracks of the old stone path. It's a reminder that beauty doesn't always demand attention, but simply waits for those willing to look. Remember, the inspiration shared here is meant to guide and encourage, not dictate. Gardens, like the paths they frame, are deeply personal, reflecting the tastes and intentions of those who tend them. If this scene sparks an idea for your own space, then perhaps it has already served its purpose. 3. Elegant Salvia Spires Garden. Picture a garden border where the air hums with the soft, steady rhythm of summer, and tall, slender spires of Salvia nemorosa rise like sentinels, their dense, violet-blue blooms catching the gentle sway of a warm afternoon breeze. Each spike is a tightly packed column of tiny, trumpet-shaped flowers, their vibrant hues drawing the eye upward, creating a vertical rhythm that breaks the horizontal sweep of the garden. As you move closer, the sharp, clean scent of the salvia leaves mixes with the warm, slightly dusty aroma of sun-warmed earth. The stems stand firm and upright, each one tipped with a dense plume of color that seems to shimmer in the sunlight. Bees hover eagerly around the blooms, their wings a soft, mechanical blur as they move from flower to flower, gathering nectar before the coolness of evening sets in. This is a plant that thrives on simplicity and resilience. It asks little, just a spot in the sun and well-drained soil. Yet it rewards you with a cascade of color from late spring through summer. The flowers, with their velvety texture and intense, saturated tones, add a touch of drama to even the simplest garden. And when the first flush of blooms fades, a quick trim can encourage a second lighter wave of blossoms, extending the season's beauty. Imagine planting these salvia spires alongside softer, more mounding plants like geraniums or lamb's ear, creating a play of texture and form that feels both natural and thoughtfully composed. As the day draws to a close, the last rays of sunlight catch the fine, silvery hairs along the stems, giving the entire border a soft, ethereal glow. While this scene is meant to inspire, remember that each garden is a reflection of the person who tends it. The choices you make, from the plants you select to the way you arrange them, become a living portrait of your style and spirit. Four. Soft cascading catmint edges. Imagine walking along a sun-drenched garden path, where the edges seem to blur into soft, rolling waves of lavender blue. This is the gentle beauty of nepeta, or catmint, cascading over stones and blending seamlessly into the natural curves of the garden. Its silvery green leaves catch the sunlight, their fine, fuzzy texture adding a soft shimmer to the landscape, while the delicate, tubular flowers sway gently in the warm breeze. The air is filled with a faint, herbal scent of the leaves, a refreshing, slightly minty fragrance that stirs memories of sunlit meadows and warm summer winds. Bees and butterflies flit among the blooms, their wings a constant, busy blur as they weave in and out of the dense clusters of flowers. The sound of their gentle hum blends with the rustle of the leaves, creating a soft, natural symphony that invites you to pause and breathe deeply. Unlike more delicate plants, catmint is a hardy, unassuming garden hero. It thrives in poor, dry soil and basks in full sun, asking for little more than an occasional trim to keep its sprawling form in check. Planted at the edge of a path or along a low stone wall, it spills gracefully over the sides, softening harsh edges and filling empty spaces with its relaxed, cottage-style charm. Even in the heat of midsummer, when many flowers begin to fade, nepeta continues to bloom, its tiny blossoms catching the light like fine lace, each petal a delicate brushstroke in the broader canvas of the garden. It's a reminder that beauty can be found in the simple, the understated, and the quietly resilient. As always, the inspiration here is meant to encourage and spark your creativity. Gardens are personal spaces, shaped by the hands and hearts that tend them. If this vision of softly cascading catmint sparks an idea for your own garden, then perhaps it has already begun to grow. Five. Bold Autumn Joy Sedum Focal Points. As the summer sun begins to soften into the golden hues of early autumn, a new kind of beauty emerges in the garden. Among the cooling air and lengthening shadows, the thick, fleshy leaves of Sedum Autumn Joy stand tall, their sturdy stems supporting broad, flat clusters of flowers just beginning to blush a deep, dusty pink. This is a plant that commands attention, its chunky, succulent leaves providing structure and weight, grounding the lighter, airier textures around it. As the days grow shorter, The flower heads slowly shift from pale green to a rich, rusty red, their surfaces catching the low, angled sunlight like miniature fields of coral. The stems remain upright and firm, refusing to bend under the weight of morning dew or the occasional autumn rain. Walk closer, and you might notice the way the thick, waxy leaves seem to hold the light, their cool, bluish-green tones contrasting sharply with the warm earth below. Tiny insects move among the blooms, their legs brushing against the tightly packed florets, each one a tiny, perfect star in the dense, broccoli-like heads. And when the first frost finally settles, the dried flower heads remain, their once vibrant colors fading into soft, muted browns, but their forms still standing proudly against the chill. These skeletal remains add texture and interest to the winter garden, catching snowflakes and morning frost like delicate, natural sculptures. This is the quiet strength of Sedum, a plant that asks for little, yet gives back so much, providing structure and beauty long after other blooms have faded. It's a reminder that even in the cooler, quieter months, the garden still holds life and promise, waiting for the warmth of spring to call it back into full bloom. While this vision is meant to inspire, remember that your garden is a reflection of your own tastes and choices. Whether you plant sedum for its drought tolerance or its bold architectural presence, let it be a reminder that beauty often lies in resilience and quiet strength. Six. Lush Hosta Shade Retreat. In the cool, dappled shade beneath the wide, outstretched branches of an old oak tree, a different kind of garden beauty thrives. Here, the air is cooler, the light softer, filtered through layers of green, and the ground beneath your feet is rich and moist, alive with the quiet, patient growth of woodland plants. It is in this gentle, shadowed corner that the broad, textured leaves of Hosta find their perfect home. Each Hosta leaf is a small masterpiece, its surface deeply veined and slightly rippled, catching the faint morning light like the folds of fine silk. Some leaves are a deep, velvety green, while others glow in shades of blue-gray or creamy, variegated patterns, their edges tinged with soft yellows or pure, crisp whites. Dew clings to their surfaces in the early hours, tiny droplets beading along the broad, waxy leaves, reflecting the soft light in 100 tiny mirrored worlds. As you walk through this shaded retreat, the air is cooler, filled with the fresh, earthy scent of damp leaves and rich, dark soil. The sound of birdsong echoes softly through the trees, and the occasional rustle of a small animal moving through the underbrush adds a sense of quiet life to the scene. Hostas are more than just foliage plants. They are the backbone of shaded gardens, their lush, layered forms providing structure and contrast, even in the absence of bright, showy blooms. And while their flowers, often tall spikes of pale lavender or pure white, are fleeting, their leaves remain a steady, calming presence from spring until the first frost. This is a plant for the patient gardener, one who appreciates the subtle beauty of texture and form, the play of light and shadow, and the quiet, steady rhythm of a garden that grows slowly but deeply. As always, the inspiration here is meant to guide and spark your own creativity. Gardens are deeply personal spaces, each one a reflection of the tastes, dreams, and quiet moments of those who tend them. If this shaded retreat speaks to you, perhaps it is time to carve out a cool corner of your own, where the light filters softly and the air always carries a hint of green. Seven. Modern Allium Firework blooms. Imagine a garden border where each plant stands with a quiet, understated elegance, yet bursts into color with the dramatic flair of a summer firework. This is the world of Allium Millennium, where perfect, globe-shaped blooms in deep magenta-purple rise above neat, green clumps of strap-like leaves, swaying gently in the warm midsummer breeze. As the sun rises higher in the sky, the small, star-shaped florets catch the light, their tight, spherical clusters casting delicate, intricate shadows on the soil below. Each bloom is a miniature universe, a perfect explosion of color and texture, held aloft by slender, sturdy stems that seem almost too thin to support such weight. And yet, they stand firm, undaunted by wind or rain, their heads bobbing slightly in the afternoon wind like dancers in a slow, graceful waltz. Move closer, and you might notice the subtle hum of bees moving from flower to flower, their tiny wings creating a gentle, constant buzz as they gather nectar. The air around these alliums is alive with movement, their rich, vibrant color a beacon for pollinators, while their tidy, compact form adds structure and rhythm to the garden. Even after the blooms fade, the dried seed heads retain their perfect spherical form, their once vibrant hues turning to soft browns and tans, adding texture and interest long after the peak of summer has passed. Planted in clusters or repeated along a path, these alliums create a sense of order and elegance, their round shapes contrasting beautifully with the softer forms of nearby grasses or the wide, lush leaves of hostas. This is a plant for those who appreciate both precision and spontaneity, the gardener who loves a touch of formality, but still delights in the wild, unpredictable beauty of a living garden. As always, remember that these ideas are shared as inspiration, meant to spark your own creativity and encourage you to see the potential in every corner of your garden. After all, the beauty of a garden lies not just in the plants themselves, but in the hands that tend them and the hearts that dream them into being. Wild Prairie Penstemon Showcase. Imagine a wide, sunlit prairie where the wind whispers through tall grasses, and the horizon stretches endlessly under a bright, open sky. Here, in this untamed landscape, the tall, spire-like blooms of Penstemon rise above the swaying sea of green, their tubular flowers catching the warm, golden light of summer. The petals are rich and vibrant, ranging from deep violet to fiery red, each bloom a small, delicate trumpet that seems to sing with the rustling wind. As you move closer, you notice the fine, slightly fuzzy texture of the petals, their edges gently ruffled and slightly translucent as the sun filters through them. This is a plant built for the wild. Tough, resilient, and unafraid of the heat and dryness that would wither more delicate flowers. Its slender, upright stems reach confidently toward the sky, their dense, vertical forms adding structure and height to the open prairie garden. Even the leaves, long and lance-shaped, have a sharp, clean silhouette, their deep green hues providing a perfect backdrop for the brighter blooms above. Walk through this scene, and you might hear the soft, rapid hum of hummingbirds as they dart from flower to flower, their tiny wings a blur of motion as they sip the rich nectar hidden deep within each bloom. Butterflies float lazily on the breeze, their wings catching the light in flashes of color as they drift among the blossoms. This is the wild heart of the garden, a place where nature's beauty is raw, unrefined, and endlessly resilient. It's a reminder that sometimes the most beautiful things are those that thrive without constant care, that grow stronger and taller in the face of harsh conditions, and that add their own wild music to the landscape. As always, these scenes are meant to inspire and guide, not to dictate. Your garden is a reflection of your own tastes and dreams, a living canvas that changes with the seasons and grows with the passage of time. If this prairie vision speaks to you, perhaps it is time to let a little wildness into your own garden and watch as it flourishes in the sun. 9. Shrub-Like Baptisia Foundation. There is a quiet strength in the heart of the garden, a place where deep roots anchor the soil and tall, upright stems reach for the sky. This is the domain of Baptisia, a plant that stands like a small, sturdy shrub, its broad, blue-green leaves catching the morning light with a soft, powdery glow. As you walk closer, the tall, graceful spires of Baptisia flowers rise above the dense foliage, their tiny pea-like blossoms clustered tightly along slender, upright stems. The blooms come in shades of deep indigo, soft lavender, or pure, creamy white, their shapes reminiscent of the wild, natural prairies where this plant first grew. When the wind moves through the garden, the stems sway gently, the small, oval leaves rustling softly, their smooth surfaces catching the light in shifting patterns of blue and green. Later in the season, as the flowers fade, the plant produces long, dark seed pods that rattle quietly in the breeze, adding a gentle rhythmic sound to the garden as summer turns to fall. This is a plant that asks for little but gives much in return. Drought-tolerant, long-lived, and virtually pest-free, It thrives in poor rocky soil where other plants might struggle. It grows slowly, its deep, woody roots pushing steadily into the earth, anchoring it firmly in place, and making it a steadfast presence in the landscape. Walk past a stand of Baptisia on a warm summer day, and you might catch the soft, sweet scent of its flowers on the air, mingling with the earthy smell of sun-warmed soil and dry, rustling grasses. It is a reminder that strength and beauty often go hand in hand, and that some of the most resilient plants are those that take their time, growing slowly but steadily, year after year. As always, these scenes are shared as inspiration, a gentle reminder that every garden is a personal reflection of the hands that tend it and the hearts that dream it into being. If this vision of tall, graceful Baptisia swaying in the summer breeze speaks to you, perhaps it is time to plant a few deep roots of your own, and watch as they grow into something strong and lasting. 10. Romantic Lady's Mantle Garden Touch. In the soft, green corners of a garden, where the air feels cool and damp, and the light filters gently through the branches above, you might find the quiet elegance of Lady's Mantle. This unassuming perennial, with its scalloped chartreuse green leaves and frothy, yellow blooms, adds a touch of old-world romance to any shaded path or woodland border. As you walk through this peaceful space, the broad, rounded leaves of the Lady's Mantle catch your eye, their surfaces lightly covered in fine, velvety hairs that capture tiny droplets of morning dew. Each leaf holds its water like a delicate cup, the droplets reflecting the soft, dappled light like tiny, sparkling jewels. It is a small, quiet miracle of nature, this ability to catch and hold the rain, to cradle each drop like a precious gem. Move closer, and you'll notice the intricate lace-like pattern of the leaf edges, each one gently curved and deeply lobed, adding texture and depth to the garden floor. Above these lush, green mounds, the plant sends up sprays of tiny star-like yellow flowers, their bright, airy forms contrasting beautifully with the dense, rounded foliage below. When a soft summer breeze stirs the air, the long, slender flower stems sway gently, their tiny blossoms catching the light in 1,000 different ways, creating a soft, golden haze that seems to hover just above the leaves. The scent is light, almost imperceptible, a faint green whisper of fresh-cut grass and cool, damp earth. This is a plant for those who appreciate the subtle, the understated, and the quietly beautiful. It is the perfect choice for the edges of paths or the base of tall, stately trees, where it can spill gracefully over stones or blend seamlessly into the broader tapestry of a naturalistic garden. As always, this vision is shared to inspire and guide, a gentle reminder that every garden is a reflection of the hands that tend it and the hearts that dream it into being. If this scene of dew-laden leaves and softly swaying flowers speaks to you, perhaps it is time to carve out a quiet corner of your own, where the light filters gently and the air always carries a hint of green. 11. Classic Black-Eyed Susan Highlights. There's a certain warmth to a summer garden that calls to mind long, sun-soaked afternoons, the air thick with the hum of bees and the soft rustle of tall grasses. In this golden scene, the cheerful faces of Black-Eyed Susan stand tall, their bright yellow petals radiating outward like small, personal suns. Walk through this part of the garden, and you'll find yourself surrounded by these vibrant, upright blooms, each one crowned with a dark, chocolate-brown center that catches the sunlight in a rich, velvety glow. The petals curve gently downward, their edges slightly ruffled by the wind, creating a soft, natural frame for the dense, textured heart at the center of each flower. As the afternoon light shifts and the shadows grow longer, the colors seem to deepen, the yellows becoming richer, the dark centers more pronounced. The stems are tall and slightly rough to the touch, their narrow, serrated leaves swaying gently in the warm breeze, their edges catching the light like the fine teeth of a saw blade. Move closer, and you might notice the gentle movement of bees and butterflies as they move from bloom to bloom, their tiny wings a constant, quiet buzz in the warm air. The soil beneath your feet is dry and warm, the faint, earthy scent of sun-warmed earth rising with each step. This is a plant that thrives on sunlight, its bright, happy blooms a perfect match for the heat of late summer, when the days are long and the nights still warm. It asks for little: just a spot in the sun and enough space to spread its roots. Yet it gives back so much, filling the garden with light and color long after other flowers have faded. As always, this scene is meant to inspire, a gentle reminder that every garden is a reflection of the hands that tend it and the hearts that dream it into being. If this image of bright golden petals swaying in the summer breeze speaks to you, perhaps it is time to plant a few rays of sunshine in your own garden, and watch as they spread their warm golden glow. Bright Coreopsis sunshine borders. There are moments in a garden when the light feels almost golden, as if the sun itself has decided to bloom. It is in these moments that Coreopsis comes to life. Its cheerful, daisy-like flowers glowing in brilliant shades of yellow, some edged with fiery red, swaying lightly above slender green stems. Picture a border that stretches along a sunlit fence or gently curves around a flower bed. Coreopsis grows there in loose, happy clusters, filling the space with warmth and motion. The petals are slightly irregular, some fluttering open wider than others, each one dancing in the summer breeze with the ease of a child's laughter. The leaves below are fine and feathery, fern-like in texture, their light green color offering a delicate balance to the more striking blooms above. They move as one with the wind, a soft rustling that gives the impression of a meadow at rest. Alive but never hurried. This plant thrives in dry, lean soil, needing little water, and yet it rewards you with weeks of blooming joy from early summer through the warmest months. You might find bees and butterflies lingering here, drawn not just by the color, but by the ease of the bloom's open centers. It's the kind of plant that seems to invite everyone in, pollinators, passers-by, and gardeners alike, its sunny disposition impossible to ignore. Coreopsis brings with it a lightness of spirit, the kind that brightens borders and lifts moods, even on days when the sky is pale and the breeze cooler than expected. It is a gentle nudge to remember that not all beauty is grand or dramatic. Some of it is soft and persistent, showing up faithfully with every season, needing little and giving plenty. This idea is shared not as a rule, but as a whisper of possibility. You might take it and shape it to suit your own space, because gardens, like stories, are best when they reflect the heart of the one who creates them. Feathery Astilbe Shade Haven. In the cool, shadowed corners of a garden, where the air feels heavy with the dampness of morning dew, you might find the quiet, ethereal beauty of Astilbe. These delicate, feathery plumes rise above dense mounds of deeply serrated dark green foliage, their tiny star-like blossoms catching the soft, filtered light like strands of lace blowing gently in the breeze. Walk through this shaded haven, and you'll notice the subtle play of light and shadow as the fine, airy blooms sway above their rich, green base. The colors range from the palest pinks and whites to deep, saturated reds, each one adding a whisper of color to the cool, green understory. Move closer, and you might catch the faint, fresh scent of wet earth and damp leaves, the kind of deep, cool aroma that clings to shaded forest floors. The soil here is rich and dark, covered in a thin layer of fallen leaves and soft, green moss, the perfect home for a plant that thrives on moisture and shade. Astilbe is a patient plant, content to grow slowly, steadily, its roots pushing deep into the cool, damp earth. Its leaves are finely textured, their deeply cut edges catching the light in soft, dappled patterns, while the tall, feathery blooms reach upward, their slender stems swaying gently in the soft, cool air. This is a plant for those who appreciate the quiet, the subtle, and the softly beautiful. It is the perfect choice for the edges of shaded paths, the base of tall, ancient trees, or the cool, damp corners of a woodland garden, where its delicate plumes add texture and movement to the softer, greener palette of the shade. As always, these scenes are shared to inspire, a gentle reminder that every garden is a reflection of the hands that tend it and the hearts that dream it into being. If this vision of soft, feathery blooms swaying in the cool, dappled light speaks to you, perhaps it is time to carve out a quiet, shaded corner of your own, where the air is always cool and the light always soft. 14. Fragrant Phlox Cottage blooms. There is a certain kind of summer garden that feels like a step back in time, a place where the air is thick with the sweet, heady scent of blooming flowers and the gentle hum of bees. In these cottage gardens, where paths twist and turn through dense, overflowing borders, you might find the tall, showy blooms of Phlox paniculata, their brightly colored clusters glowing in the warm afternoon light. Imagine walking through such a garden, the path beneath your feet soft and slightly uneven, the air around you alive with the rich, floral fragrance of phlox. The tall, upright stems sway gently in the breeze, their tightly packed flower clusters ranging from pure white to deep magenta, each bloom a small, perfectly formed star with a faint, sweet scent that lingers long after you've passed by. Move closer, and you'll notice the fine, slightly sticky texture of the leaves, their dark green surfaces catching the sunlight in soft, muted tones. The flowers themselves are a study in contrasts, their petals thin and delicate, yet arranged in tight, dense clusters that seem almost too heavy for their slender stems. As the sun dips lower in the sky, casting long, soft shadows across the garden, the colors of the phlox deepen, their petals glowing like tiny, living lanterns in the fading light. Butterflies and bees move slowly among the blooms, their wings catching the last golden rays of sunlight, adding a gentle, living movement to the quiet summer scene. Phlox is a plant for those who appreciate the romance of the garden. The quiet, slow-growing beauty of plants that bloom for weeks on end, filling the air with their fragrance and the soil with their steady, patient roots. It is a reminder that some of the most beautiful things in life take time, that they bloom slowly but deeply, their roots pushing ever downward as their blossoms reach ever upward. As always, these ideas are shared to inspire, a gentle nudge toward the quiet, personal act of tending a garden, of carving out a small piece of the world where flowers bloom and bees hum and the air always carries a hint of green. If this vision of fragrant, colorful blooms speaks to you, perhaps it is time to plant a few tall, patient stems of your own, and watch as they fill your garden with the soft, slow beauty of summer. Timeless Shasta daisy edging. There is something beautifully uncomplicated about a Shasta daisy. With its crisp white petals and golden yellow center, it captures the very essence of summer, sunlight distilled into bloom. In a garden that brims with layered textures and shifting shades, these daisies offer a moment of stillness, of brightness, like little suns dotting the edge of a path or lining a quiet garden bed. Imagine a border where Shasta daisies stand in a cheerful row, each bloom turned gently toward the sky. The stems are upright and proud, holding their heads high in the mid-morning light, while the narrow, slightly toothed green leaves below sway softly in the breeze. There's a quiet rhythm here, a gentle, pulsing energy that radiates warmth and welcome. As you walk past, you might notice how the petals catch the light, pure, clean, and almost translucent at the edges, casting soft, scalloped shadows on the ground. Bees drift from flower to flower with a calm persistence, and a butterfly may pause briefly before flitting upward again, carried by the wind. Even after the sun begins its slow descent, the daisies remain open and glowing, their simple beauty undiminished by the hour. They are not showy, nor are they fussy. Instead, they ask for little: a sunny spot, well-drained soil, and the patience of a gardener who understands the joy of consistency. This is the kind of plant that belongs at the edge, not because it is secondary, but because it frames the garden like a quiet chorus, repeating its melody again and again through the long days of summer. It's the kind of bloom that makes you pause, not out of awe but out of peace. Let this serve as gentle inspiration, not instruction. These scenes are offered not to prescribe, but to imagine, because your garden is yours alone. And if the idea of a bright, timeless border of daisies appeals to your heart, then perhaps that is all the permission you need to begin. And there you have it. Cherry blossom 15 beautiful perennials to enhance your garden borders with minimal effort. Whether you prefer bold, dramatic blooms or soft, flowing foliage, these plants will keep your garden looking vibrant year-round. Which of these perennials would you love to add to your garden? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more gardening inspiration from Arsakha Aesthetic Studio. Until next time, happy planting.